Woodyard. I live in Belpre, Ohio. Even though I have challenge athletes, West Virginia, sure. Live in Ohio. Lived here all my life. Grew up in Little Hockey, went to high school, and born. But that's a little background on me. But I'm here to tell my story. We all have a story. We're all unique. We're all different. Even though people say, "I know what you're going through." Okay. Nobody knows what anybody's going through. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own story. Just how do you act on it is what it comes down to. So, with that being said, let me tell you my story. So, it was April 7th, 1995, 26 years ago. I was in a single car accident. I do not remember anything about the accident. Basically, what I was told, I was driving back from Charleston, West Virginia, and the lady said that I was not speeding or reckless driving. She said it looked like the wind picked up my truck and it blew over. She said it rolled 8 times, I believe she said, and I fell out on the 4th roll. I was in a coma for 13 days, so they really didn't know. They knew there was a spinal cord injury, but they didn't know if I had a head injury or not. That was really the only blood I had was my head where it cracked on the blacktop. So they really didn't know until I woke up. But some probably say I'm on that case, but supposedly I had no head injury. It was just a spinal cord injury. And from that day on, I remember the doctor, I don't remember this, but people telling me, the doctor came in and pretty told me that my life was going to be different and that I would never be able to walk again. And that things that I did daily would be different. I wouldn't be able to play sports. Basically said I couldn't do anything. And that's pretty much what motivates me is when someone tells me I can't do something. So that's what motivates me. Everyone's a little different. What motivates you? It could be your grandkids, kids, your spouse. Everyone's different. What motivates you? That's what motivates me. Is when someone tells me I can't do something, and that's how it all got started. And I got sports is a big thing for me, and the thing of it is I really wasn't active before my accident. It was really afterwards where I got into doing some crazy things. And the very first thing I did was lied to my family. A buddy of mine asked me if I wanted to go whitewater rafting, and he was a guide down in New River Gorge. Just got out of the hospital, and I had to wear this shell. I just got it off, and it was almost that same weekend. So we told my family that I was going fishing. Yeah. So when I came home, I was soaking wet, and they were like, "Where have you been?" So that's when it all began, the craziness. So then after that, I got into kayaking with Adventure Pursuit. That's where I met Nancy. I don't even know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was years ago. It was when it first started.
Yeah.
So,
We're on the board together.
yeah. I wish I could remember a year, but I cannot. But that's when it all got started. And they had one weekend, they had like a technology for different abilities weekend or something. I can't remember what it was even called. And a lady came there, and she asked me if I wanted to try snow skiing. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure." So that's how I got involved with Challenge Athletes West Virginia. It's at Snowshoe Mountain, and we teach adaptive skiing. And it was very, very challenging. One of the hardest things I had to learn, and I told myself I wasn't giving up. And it probably took 4 to 5 years to become an independent skier. So now I'm independent. I can pretty much go to Snowshoe, get in my ski, and pretty much ski down the mountain and help with others. But we teach any adaptive skiing, from 3-track to 4-track, mono ski, bi skis. It just depends on your ability. So 3-track, when someone comes there, we look how strong they are and stuff to see if they're able to do something like that. And then if they don't feel comfortable, then that's when we probably put them in a monoski. But most of them do 3-track. And that's how to snowshoe. If you guys ever have an interest of snow skiing, get a hold of Nancy. Nancy can get a hold of me. We can set that up any weekend. But that's how that got into snow skiing. And then I got into other sports, got into wheelchair basketball, got into racing chair, did that for a little bit, and then that's when I got into hand cycling. Hand cycling is what I do now. I've done quite a few marathons. I don't know what Nancy told you guys about my marathons. I think I've done about 50 marathons. Just did New York City over the weekend, so I'm still a little sore right now from that one. I felt like it was the first day of riding. I can't believe how sore I am. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I did, was it 3 weeks ago? I did the Detroit Marathon, and that was my best time. It was an hour and 59 minutes. So my goal was under 2 hours to do the marathon, and that's the marathon I did it in. This one wasn't that fast. I think I was still recovering from Detroit. So I was looking at the miles that I've done this year. I've done over 2,000, I think 2,200 miles this year, and I know I did 2,000 last year because I got an app now to keep track. I wish I would have kept track of all the miles I've done over the years, but in 2 years, I've done over 4,000 miles in the bike. What was unique about this marathon for me, I've seen a lot of amputees do hand cycling, but this was the first marathon where I saw 3 guys actually run double amps with, what do you call it, blades? Yeah, oh, I was amazed. There were 3 of them. I wish I would have got their names because I know one of them had to be famous because he had like a movie crew with him, and he was like doing a documentary, doing the whole thing. And I could tell he was from another country because of his accent, but I wish I'd have got his name. But I was amazed by that. That's, at all the marathons, this is the first time I've seen that. And there were 3 of them that did that race. I think I put it. Did you share that picture?
I didn't, but I'll post it on the Amputee Center website.
Yeah.
I saw 2 of them on there.
Yeah, it wasn't
I didn't
that.
see
It
the
wasn't
third.
the one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I did. Did I post them on
Well, I don't know if
the
they're the same
Amputee?
one. I assume they're the same one.
It was the one with the same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did. The day you were racing, I posted.
Yeah.
I think I posted that picture.
Because he probably thought I was just, I did keep watching him because I was just amazed how he did it. Changing his blade into the blades and all that was pretty neat. It was a whole ordeal.
I saw one of them walking with a cane in your picture.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the first time I've seen it. And I mean, like I said, I've done some big marathons. I've done New York before, but I guess maybe I just didn't pay attention to it then. But this time this caught me. I thought it was pretty awesome. It was 26 miles. That's a lot of miles. That's a lot of miles.
How many times have you done New York?
This is my, let me go back to that. This is my second time.
Yeah.
My first marathon that I ever done was New York City. And I was in 2002. So, and how I got involved in that was, I don't know if it was at the gym or where I was at, and someone was talking about going to New York City Marathon, and I was like, that sounds like something to be fun to do. And they're like, you would never be able to do that. Said, yeah, exactly. They said it was a lottery, that your name will never get drawn. Said, I've been trying for years. Well, I didn't know. I just threw my name in a hat, and next thing you know, the first year I tried, I got drawn for that race. So I was like, okay, it was meant to be. So that was my first race. I was like, oh, time to start training. So that was the first one, and after that, I just kept signing for more and more. From Miami, Florida, I've done it maybe 3 or 4 times. Detroit a couple times. So some pretty big marathons. And then this one was the 50th anniversary, which was supposed to be last year, but because with COVID, they didn't do the race, and I got drawn again. So I was lucky enough to get in. Then they cut the field in half, so they were only allowing 30,000 runners. So I didn't know if I'd get picked again, so not only once, but twice did I go through a lottery and got picked again for this race. So it was just meant to be to do the race. So it was the logistics was incredible for this race. I don't know if you ever saw the New York City Marathon. Most marathons start and finish almost the same location. This one is actually, the start and finish is actually 26 miles away. I mean, there's no easy way to get back to the start line. So the way it worked was the day before, I had to take my equipment to a truck, and they drove my equipment over, so to be there Sunday morning. So we had a time for that, and then that morning at 4 a.m., I had to get on a bus, and my start was at 8:22. So everyone had to take a bus over to the start. So at 4 o'clock, I got on this bus, went over to Staten Island, and luckily they had food and everything for us, but we had to wait like 3 hours before the start of the race. And so just the logistics of that race was incredible. I don't know how they pulled that off, because every person had to take a bus to Staten Island. You couldn't drive to get to the start line. So, pretty unique. Let's see what else. Crazy things I've done. I've done skydiving, scuba diving. So, I mean, anything, that's what, I just like being challenged. I like when someone tells me I can't do something. That's what motivates me. But like I said, everyone's different. Everyone has, different idea of what motivates them. But you got to just make small goals. I meet a lot of spinal cord injuries, and they meet me, and they're just like, oh, I want to be like you. It didn't happen overnight. It took time. It took small goals. I know everyone thinks, well, it's something you just dove right in. Well, I kind of did, but I did small things before that. Little 5Ks or 10Ks or anything, something like that.
What do you use to train? You just ride around, do you exercise somewhere?
Well, luckily now with my job, I have a car that allows me pretty much to any gym. So go to Anytime Fitness for working out, and then the YMCA to swim. And then I have stuff at home. I have a ski machine, that's how I call it. Thing you pull down. It's pretty neat. You bounce up against the wall. So use that for exercise. And then, I ride quite a bit of Belfry. I have
Where? Just on the streets?
I have a little path that I go on the streets. I don't know my street names, but I get to the back streets of Belfry, and I end up somehow across the bridge. So I'll go across the bridge to Parkersburg, and I'll go down to the park, around where the Sternwellers go, and then go to the park. Point Park, thanks. And go around Point Park, came back, and go across the bridge, and then I go down, I call it River Road, there in Belfry, Glenhazen Avenue, and then I climb that hill and go home. It's about 7 miles, 7, 8 miles.
Which bridge downtown?
The Free Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the, obviously in the
On
traffic.
the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that being interesting.
Yeah, it has. I've met some people in there that's been kind of scary.
So the last time, my husband and I, Mark and I, were hanging out by the river, and here comes Brian by himself in a kayak that's like a fishing kayak. So it's not like a skinny.
The first time I met you, that was a whitewater kayak.
Was that a whitewater kayak that you
Yeah.
really got from?
Yeah.
So whitewater kayaks are flat on the bottom, so they don't track straight. They're very slow. They're very slow kayaks. So he's in one, and we're like, "What are you doing?" It was a hot day. He had come from Marietta, 50 miles by himself in a kayak. Forgot his water. So we gave him some water. Now we did that one time in faster boats, and Mark was ready to die. Anyway, so then he goes, "Yeah." And so then after that, after he
get to my car.
Amazing.
Yeah, done that a couple, 3 or 4 times. So yeah. Yes, first time I did it, I didn't take water. That's the bad thing about things. I do things and I don't think things through, and I'm like, I wasn't very smart. I'm done.
I did a 12-mile bike ride like that once.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Being from a small town, it's not fun, because going up Route 7, people would go by blowing their horn, and kind of scared me a few times. So.
Yeah, that's, it's scary right now.
Yeah.
Anywhere, so. And when you're lower to the ground like that, it's even scarier.
Oh, yeah.
See it. Do you put a flag or anything on the back?
Oh, I put a flag, but this is something new on the back of this pole. I have lights that go on it, so it got a blinking light, so it's up higher. So that's kind of nice. The reason why I have it on the bike now, I filmed New York City Marathon as I did it, because I didn't know if I was going to do this marathon again, so I filmed it. And I finally got it uploaded.
Had a camera, an iPod up there, or whatever.
Yeah, I had a GoPro mounted on top.
GoPro.
Yeah. And I bought a bigger battery pack so the GoPro would last. The GoPro would last about an hour. And I bought a battery pack that lasts 9 hours. I think I could finish hopefully only 9 hours. But I did get lost in New York City, got lost in the Queens. So I showed Jen on the video where I got lost. And I took some photos. You can see where I stopped and asked the cops which way do I go. Nobody knew which way. So I had a few more miles in the adventure because Jen was on the other side of the bridge. She's like, I didn't see you. So finally I watched the video